Here are 5 things-ish that I did to help with support my body to help release the oxalates. My name is Melanie, by the way. Uh, so the first thing I did is sun exposure. I know it sounds controversial, but I felt like vitamin D, or I feel like vitamin D, and looking into it has a lot of benefits to the body. For me, especially where I had the rash, which is kind of like covered areas where typically like a bra would go, and in my groin area, um, yeah, sun exposure feels like it's the correct thing for me. I typically will be in the sun for 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. Um, I don't use sunscreen, and when I'm at home, I will tan just naked. Otherwise, when I'm in the public, I use a swimsuit unless if it's allowed otherwise. The other thing that I also did, which is dry brushing. I have a few different dry brush. I go through a specific pathway to help again support my lymphatic system, because I had my tonsils and my adenoids taken out. Just I feel like this is where a lot of the stagnation come from. I'll do my dry brushing routine in another video. The other thing, I'm looking at my notes, that's why I keep looking down. The other thing is sauna. So I'm a full-time coach here in Bali. I coach at one of the main gyms, and we have access to recovery, which is really nice, including a sauna. And so I basically try to do, the door might slam. I try to do sauna at least, especially in the beginning. Now I'm a little bit more lenient, I guess, because I feel like I've had a lot of progress versus in the beginning. That's annoying. I was doing more. Um, but I was trying to do at least something like 5 days a week, between 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the time of day I would do the sauna. Typically, if I go right after I got some sun, then my body's already heated, so I'll last max 10 minutes. If I'm doing it in the evening, then I can actually last 15 minutes. Yeah, the other thing is movement, and because of the stagnation, I'm just gonna lock this door. Because of the stagnation of my system, and I think this is where the oxalates got stuck in certain parts of my tissues. Then I was adamant to keep moving, not to stress the body, but just to get a nice blood flow going, a nice heart rate going. And it's usually strength training twice a week. I will also do some myofascia massage with a ball or with a dowel or with a foam roller. I can also do another video on that. That's both for just getting blood flow to circulate in my body, help with stagnation, as well as I use it as a way to get my nervous system on board when I'm trying to work on flexibility. So it's a bit of a 2-in-1, but at this point I was very desperate to try to figure it out. So utilizing kind of all of these tools and knowledge that I have to help support my body. And then the last thing is, of course, just not consuming oxalates and just trying the carnivore diet, which was really, I think, all of the other stuff without consuming oxalates. I guess you can do a diet that is super low oxalate. It doesn't have to be carnivore. For me, it felt like what I needed to heal my body. And just knowing my family history and having dealt with different conditions like diabetes and that kind of stuff, it felt like maybe trying carnivore and running off of ketosis seemed like the correct thing to do for me. And so I tried to film this before and the microphone died, so now I'm a little bit worried. And so now that the only oxalates I do consume is tea. I have tea in the morning. Otherwise, yeah, I have 0 oxalates in my diet at all. And I think this is really what helped, especially in the beginning. I was very strict for the first, I would say, 3 months. I didn't drink alcohol. I did not consume anything other than meat and eggs and butter and bacon. And I would have, I guess, occasionally a little bit of dairy, like maybe in a latte or like a matcha latte or something like that. And then I was doing sauna almost every day, dry brushing every day, getting sun every day. And my first dumping happened after I went to Uluwatu. I live in Bali. I went to Uluwatu. There's a beach there, and I was basically like topless tanning, and I got more sun than I usually do. But the next day, this is when I had my first releasing of oxalates around my nipples, and so I'm not sure if it was the sun. I'm not sure if it's the sauna. I'm not sure. I think all of it kind of support, and I don't think that there's a perfect formula because we all have different uh, shortcomings as to why this might have happened to us. But hopefully, some of this information is helpful. If you want to learn more about any of these categories, comment below. I can do another video or I can just answer in the comments. Otherwise, see you next time.